Hi, my name is Federico Sanchez and I'm a PhD student here at the Tropical Research and Education Center at the University of Florida in Homestead, Florida. My general area of interest is the preservation of the biodiversity of tropical fruit trees. Specifically, I'm interested on the ecophysiology and stress physiology of tropical fruits. And I work in Dr. Bruce Schaefer's ecophysiology lab here at TREC. Today, I'm going to talk about my master's thesis research project, which is the physiological, biochemical, and growth effects of color shade nets on Vanilla planifolia, the vanilla plant. Natural vanilla essence comes from the plant Vanilla planifolia. Vanilla planifolia, it's a tropical climbing orchid originally from the low forest in Mexico and Central America. It is an obligate shade plant. That means it cannot tolerate full sun. It needs to be grown under shade, and it is very sensitive to changes in light quantity and quality. Vanilla starts its life in the forest floor where it starts climbing up to the top of the canopy in search of light, and then it flowers and fruits. Vanilla planifolia is the origin of natural vanilla essence. Natural vanilla essence, it's only 5% of the global market for vanilla essence, and it is derived from the fruits of Vanilla planifolia. Vanilla is arguably the world's most popular spice, found in hundreds of thousands of products, and it is also the second most expensive spice after saffron. Production of vanilla is lengthy and complicated. The plants require 2 to 3 years to reach maturity when they can start producing. Then the flowers need to be hand pollinated, which is a significant amount of labor. And then it takes several months for the fruit to ripen, and then several months more for the fruits to be dried and cured so that the unique flavors and taste and essence of vanilla comes out. Because of this lengthy and costly production process, vanilla is very expensive to produce. And most of the production is based in less developed countries, mainly Madagascar and Indonesia, with most of the consumption being in larger, more developed countries like the US, France, and Germany. This creates significant imbalance between supply and demand, and prices fluctuate dramatically. For this experiment, we use a new generation of color shade cloth. This shade cloth is woven and it's made of translucent fibers, so they act much more like a filter than a shade cloth. We had 4 treatments in 4 different colors, and we placed the vanilla plants inside. The objective was to assess how the effect of different colored shade cloth affected the physiology, growth, and biochemistry of Vanilla planifolia. For this experiment, we used a new generation of color shade cloth, which is different from the traditional black shade cloth used in shade houses. The newer generation is made of woven translucent fibers. This means it acts much more like a colored filter than providing shade. And because of that, it affects the quality of spectral light. Our hypothesis was that having Vanilla planifolia grown under different colored shade netting would differentially affect its physiology, growth, and biochemistry. For this experiment, we had 4 treatments. We had 4 colored shade nettings. We had black, green, blue, and red. The first thing that we evaluated was how the different shade cloths affected the quality of light. For example, the red shade cloth, as suspected, increased the spectrum of light around red wavelengths and decreased wavelengths that are not red. On the other hand, the blue had the opposite effect. It increased the quantity of photons from blue light and decreased the quantity of photons from other wavelengths. The black color of shade cloth was demonstrated a neutral effect, that is, it diminished light across the entire spectrum. Another important part of the results has to do with how the different shade colors affected the physiology of the plants. What we found is that the plants under the red treatment had the highest levels of carbon assimilation, that is photosynthetic activity. And at the same time, they exhibited the largest biomass, that is larger leaf area and larger dry mass for the entire plant. On the other hand, the plants under the blue treatment had the highest levels of chlorophyll and highest levels of chlorophyll fluorescence. The different color shade nets also affected the biochemistry of the plants. The plants under the red treatment had the highest levels of antioxidant activity and protective compatible osmolytes. The blue plants under the blue treatment also had high levels, but they were not significantly different from the other two treatments. Finally, in conclusion, we can say that growing vanilla plants under red shade netting increase its biomass and its antioxidant response. And for that reason, growers may want to consider using red shade cloth instead of standard black shade cloth. Thank you for your attention.